I've been wanting to touch base on how I felt, about closing Old School Candy Kitchen for good, at least for the moment. There has been people, asking Tim, what am I gonna do? Because, that was basically my life. That's what I was doing for so long, right parallel to Tim doing videos. That was basically my job, was working on Sparkly and everything like that when he was vlogging. So that was like his full-time job. But then also we had Sparkly, which was my full-time job, and I was vlogging as well. I was making all the candy, all the pops. I've always made all the pops by myself. I think we figured out I made about 30,000 pops. So my wrist has had it with those. Closing Old School Candy Kitchen, you all know the story. Tim's filled you in on that, basically, about the kitchen. And, when right after we signed the lease, then we realized what we got into. And so with the humidity and not being able to make candy, and then once it got cold, they shut off the air conditioning, so we were able to make candy. But we were basically just on borrowed time at that point. It's hard to work in an environment where that you're gonna have to be out in a couple months. You're working on borrowed time. So it was hard to be in a certain mindset of it being a long-term thing, because we didn't know where we were gonna go. So we were trying to make, the best of it in a short amount of time, basically, to see how much we could make, see how much profit we could save. And that's where the enchant thing was supposed to come in. We weren't promised anything. We were just told that it was really good. You could make a lot of money doing it. And it's a whole month of being there, basically every day. And there was a lot of profit to be made. But sadly, you just could never predict, how the economy is going to be and stuff like that. So bottom line is, it wasn't as good as we thought. A lot of locals that used to go would go once or twice and then wouldn't go again. So there wasn't as much traffic as there was previous years. So as I started doing it, I was there every night. It was really hard. And Tim was at the kitchen almost every night cooking brittle. So it was very tough for both of us. And it took a lot of it out of us too. I feel like we aged 5 years in a year and a half. It's a little crazy. People don't understand how much labor goes into making this sort of handmade candy. We just don't want to put a whole bunch of fake stuff together, make it easy for us. Me not use real fruit juice in the lollipops. Instead, I could have used little drops of fake cotton candy, artificial flavoring, and make it very easy for myself. But I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to make really good candy the old-fashioned way. Same with the peanut brittle. We couldn't do our peanut brittle without stretching it. I just didn't want someone to bite into our brittle and their teeth want to fall out. So we try to make the best candy we could. So that's where the quality control came in. So I don't know, if we did make it harder on ourselves or not. We just wanted to create the best candy there was out there. Doing all of that hard work, and then we had to close as soon as they turned the air conditioner on. Happened to turn 92 degrees, like the end of March or whatever day it was. We had a little heat wave, a 3-day heat wave, and they turned it on because people were going to be boiling up in their kitchens, because most kitchens would use fryers and stuff. It was probably going to be 100 degrees if they didn't turn it on. So they're not going to worry about one tenant that can't cook their candy in there, We were sad that it had to close and that we couldn't find anywhere, and we still can't find anywhere that would really suit our needs. There might be a kitchen we could go to, a shared kitchen, but we can't take the big kettle and everything. So we would be making small batches. So one thing we did decide that we knew for a fact, we didn't want to cook candy here at home just because of the quantity. I wouldn't be able to produce the amount of candy or pralines here at home because of the demand when I go to the farmers markets. So basically it would just kind of be a hobby, and then I have to outweigh whether or not, you know, the profit is worth my time doing, when, especially since Tim is going to go back to vlogging and playing poker out on the strip. So the candy business is a full-time job. And maybe if we were to do it again, I don't know, maybe we would start out different, like start out a little easier and put the stuff that's very laborious to the side, and start out maybe with coffee and just marshmallows, something a little bit easier. But we're still not certain what we want to do. Like I said, this just happened, so the only thing that we could do is Tim go back to vlogging, which he did quit a year and a half ago to jump in the candy business, because he was pretty fed up with vlogging on the strip and the heat and all of that. A lot of people don't understand that vlogging is a job. It's a job. And a lot of people think that, hold that thought, because I'm making Tim's iced tea and making me a cup of tea, and it's gonna beep any minute now. All right. Okay, like I was saying, sometimes people only hear what they want to hear. I'm gonna say it again. Vlogging is a job. It's a job. The saying is, numbers don't lie, people lie. So if you're vlogging, you're working your butt off in the middle of summer at 115 degrees heat, and it takes you 45 minutes to walk, you know, 2 casinos down, while vlogging, trying to get footage and stuff like that. It takes you 45 minutes just to walk 2 casinos down, because you have to stop, talk to the camera, find a place to talk to the camera where there's not tourists, drunk tourists, you know, around screaming and trying to photobomb the back of you, and you lose your train of thought when you're trying to speak to the camera. You know, right here, I could probably talk for an hour because no one is here to bother me or anything like that. There's nothing distracting me. I could just strictly focus on talking to you. And a lot of people cannot understand that or comprehend that when they're watching a video of someone running around on the strip making a vlog. It just feels like work. When you get, as soon as you start driving to the strip, you start getting anxious already, because you know of all the people, all the tourists, all the traffic that you're gonna have to deal with just to make a 10-minute vlog, and you're gonna be out for about 8 hours at least to make a 10-minute vlog. That's how hard it is. A lot of people say, you know, think that, oh, you know, it's good freedom, you know, you're doing what you wanna do. Yes, you don't have to, yes, you are in a way, and that's our choice. You know, I used to go over there, and if there was a new restaurant I haven't been to and stuff like that, yes, we have a choice. But once you're doing all that work and you don't see the numbers, the views or the subscribers, or viewers are just leaving negative comments. And I'm not even talking about like what Tim says about trolls and stuff like that. I'm talking about people that actually watch your videos and say, oh, you know, it's Groundhog Day again. Oh, this is so boring. The same thing over and over again. I mean, you have to go back and think about why you first started watching in the first place. You know, because I started getting that. Oh, wow, you're showing the Bellagio Conservatory again, and then you go somewhere to eat. You know, how boring. And I felt that, and I only did it for about a year or two. Tim's been doing it for over 10 years at this point. So you start feeling even a little unappreciated by your viewers, because they started watching you for certain content, and then they're just, you know, cracking jokes, and you just feel unappreciated when that starts happening. The views start going down, and you get viewers saying that same old thing when you're putting all this work, and then you're out 8 hours in 115 degrees. You get home, you have to spend, 3 hours editing the vlog, and then wake up and do the next thing over again. That's why you have to be very careful making YouTube videos. Make sure you're very passionate about doing it as well. That's why I never really wanted to like make a certain type of video of me just making, say, restaurant reviews. I didn't want to just do that. That's why I've always showed me and Tim at the house and us going places, me making dinner. I did like a life vlog. Everyone needs their escape from their daily life. And I watch van life for my escapism, because I don't get to go out there and hike and search for cooler weather when it's 115 degrees. They look around, they go wherever they want. They have a different, they open the door to their RV or van or whatever it is, and it's a different landscape all the time, a different view, whether it's the mountains, the woods, the desert, the ocean, whatever it is. They live in their house basically. So that's my escape, from my normal daily life, because most of the time making candy every day, body hurting when I got home after 15 hours of working or whatever, stretching the brittle and all of that, my hands would be killing me, my feet would be killing me, and Tim would too. So I'm guilty of the same sort of escape. A couple that used to do RVing, and I used to love to watch them all the time. Then they bought a house and their vlog changed. It was about, just them living in their house, and I wasn't too attracted to it anymore. So I stopped watching, and I think a lot of people stopped watching. I'm sure she noticed her views started going down. So then her views started going down, and she did have kids too that were in school. So I believe, against her better judgment, or what she didn't want to do was go back to traveling, especially because she had kids and then she would have to homeschool them, but she still needed to make her income. So she went back to the RV life, homeschooled her kids and stuff like that, and traveled around. But it wasn't the same. You could see in the videos that she wasn't the same doing all of that. Maybe too, because she's already seen all of it. Maybe she was just burnt out on it, and she wasn't passionate about it anymore. So you could see that in the new videos. So I'm guilty of that selfishness too, about watching someone religiously all the time and then stop watching them when they decided to change their life, and then start watching when they started producing videos I wanted to see again. But it just wasn't the same. You just never know how people feel when they feel like they have to be forced to have to make a video that only certain viewers are gonna view. They could blow smoke up people's butts and all of that, saying, oh, you're the best travel vlogger ever, and this and that. But and you're my favorite, and we know it's just words, because if that was true, if that vlogger was truly their favorite, they would have kept on watching them just for them. Which, with the change in Tim's vlogs, when he decided just to quit poker, quit vlogging, and to try the business, to try to build something with Sparkly, very few viewers followed us to our new channel. And I see that, who followed us on the journey, who visited us at the farmer's market, and who supported Tim throughout everything, like who's been watching him from the beginning and honestly, genuinely loved him for him, that continued to watch him in his, and in his different chapters in life. And a lot of people didn't follow him. It made me a little sad, but that's just the way it is, us as humans. We're looking for that escape. We get a little bit selfish, and we're like, oh, I don't want to see this person living a normal life, or trying to do something different, get married and totally change the types of videos they make. But everyone changes in life. You know, everybody grows up, everyone has different chapters in life. And I don't know. And that's why I like to show my life with Tim. And I show Sparkly. And I showed us making the candy. And we made videos about the candy because that's what we were passionate about in that time of our lives. And so that's the type of videos I like to share. So I just always wanted to be that way. I don't want to get into a certain niche and then I gain a whole bunch of subscribers. Then I decide, you know, oh, I don't want to do this for a living anymore and, you know, want to do something else. And then less than half of my subscribers don't follow me. So I just want to keep it as passionate and as real as possible. And I'm just a regular person. You don't have to watch us at all. You know, we're just two people just living our lives. And at the moment, the backdrop happens to be Las Vegas. Even though a lot of our love for Vegas has kind of faded, it's just not there anymore. It's never been the same. A lot of places has never been the same since COVID. It's the weirdest thing ever, but it hasn't. And we're never gonna get the old Vegas feeling back, from what I could tell. So, bottom line is, for the moment, I mean, we just closed Old School Candy Kitchen. And I'm not, for some reason, I'm not sad about it. I'm not devastated or anything like that. I was hoping, my hopes were actually to make enough money to rent a commercial space and have an actual retail store, but out of Las Vegas. I actually wanted to and talked to Tim about moving to Myrtle Beach. Why Myrtle Beach? I mean, that's it's not really my first choice, but I don't know where my first choice would be. But I just thought about Myrtle Beach because it's close to his mom. It's driving distance from his mom, and I just want him to spend as much time with his mom as he could. You know, that she's still here with us. You know, you can't take anything for granted. And I told him this. I lost my mom in 2022, and it was the hardest thing for me because it was pretty sudden. And you'll never get another mom. So I'm very close with Tim's mom. So now she's the closest thing I have to a mother. And I told him I think it would be wise for us to try to build up as much money as we could and just move out of here and try something different. And it's just a whole different type of atmosphere. And I don't know, I was thinking, you know, maybe the candy business would do better over there. Coffee shop by the beach. We could do coffee, candy. Maybe I could sprinkle in some pastries, cinnamon rolls, or little pies or whatever. I think it would do better over there in a more, it's still a tourist town, but it's by the beach. So instead of just, you know, here, all they know is like, people only go to the Strip. It's known for just gambling. So, and there's a lot more families that go over there to Myrtle Beach. So that was actually my hopes, because it would be nice to see her, you know, every other month or so, to take a drive over there and visit her instead of 1 or 2 times a year that we go. And that was my hopes. And now we're here. So Tim's gonna continue making his videos, showing the Las Vegas Strip, and so far it seems like it's going well. I'm really happy that people are watching again, and you know, I just really hope too that they appreciate it more with him being gone. I'm not trying to put him on a pedestal and say he's the best, you know, in the world, but he's very good at what he does. And I just hope people appreciate all the time and effort and creative editing he does to make videos for you to enjoy. And that's all. You know, and every view counts, every view. So I'm on his side no matter what. And I'm going to help him with his with his videos, I'm just going to be his partner and support him to try to just keep these views coming, you know, because that's basically what we're doing for work right now. So like I said, every view counts, even the views from, you know, as they say, the trolls. I didn't know what a troll was until I met Tim. But even from the trolls that watch his whole 10-15 minute video and then just can't wait just to say something negative. It's a little bizarre. And it's a little sad. And basically they have to have some sort of mental illness, you know, or depression or something. They're not happy in their life for them to be doing that, to be so obsessed with somebody. It's a little remarkable being in the social media world on how obsessed some people could be. You could block them, and they'll just recreate a new account. And you know, when I block somebody, it's for a reason. That, you know, it's for a reason. And nothing is more important to me than Tim and our safety, and I will protect him at all costs, you know, just like he will protect me. I will protect him. I will protect us. He's the most important thing in my life, you know. Sparkly's not. It was never about Sparkly. It was never about Old School Candy Kitchen. It was always about our future, you know, trying and looking for a better future, you know, building a business, making enough money to get us health insurance, buy us a house. But the bottom line is, you know, I wouldn't want to do that with anyone else except for Tim. He's who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And we both feel the same way. We just want to live a better life. And we're each other's best friends as well. So we're a very strong couple. So whoever is Tim's enemy is my enemy. And whoever tries to hurt him hurts me. So I'm just going to go and want to protect him just like he does for me. You know, people could try to stir up things for us and stuff like that. Try to say things about our business or whatever. Try to make negative comments in our videos, whatever. We will always stand strong together, and you know, evil never wins. So that's all I have to say about that. I just wanted to come on here and just tell you guys how I felt about the whole situation. Basically, the plan is, there is no plan for me. It just happened. I'm just kind of soaking it all in and getting used to our lives, going back to vlogging, helping Tim here at home with his channel and other side projects that he has. So that's all we could do, is just keep on going and do what we know how to do. He knows how to vlog. He's been doing it for a long time. Basically do what he has to do. It's either that or both of us go get regular jobs. But we're very fortunate that as of right now, we have a choice. So we're gonna make the best of it, and we're gonna do it together. So that's all I have to say. And I really appreciate all of you who have not been fair weather viewers and who have followed the journey of Old School Candy Kitchen and Sparkly, and followed my channel and our channel, the channel we have together, because this is our life. Appreciate you, the genuine people that, you know, could relate to us in some way, or just enjoy watching us, you know, and our personalities. You know, it's sad for me. It's not sad, but I just, you know, I do feel bad when I read some of Tim's comments, and then, you know, men are saying, oh, you know, this is way better than the candy BS. You know, that's taking like a shot at him on what, and then to go and say, oh, you're the man and this and that. You're the best vlogger ever. But yet they still took a shot at what he tried to do better for himself and for us to have a better life. But instead, that person or those people just wanted that feeling of escape, and just to see the background of Vegas or whatever, even if it meant that Tim making a video and didn't want to make it. Everyone's different, that's all. Everybody's different. And yes, I have a different personality and a different perspective on, you know, what we film or how I see things and how Tim sees things. We just have different personalities. Sometimes we're a lot alike. Sometimes, you know, I hold back and I don't say a lot of things because I don't want to come off as rude or, you know, or witchy or anything like that. And I don't cuss. I've never cussed. I was always brought up it wasn't ladylike to cuss, basically. So that's just, I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to judge anyone, but that's just how I was brought up. I was always told I could get my point across without cursing, and it's not ladylike to curse. And so I was always brought up like that. And Tim, you know, he just does what he wants to do. And yes, it sounds bad when he does cuss. I don't like it, but to me, it just doesn't sound as bad as hearing a woman cuss. So that's all I have to say about that. But thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Just wanted to have a nice little heart-to-heart with all of you that are watching this. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one, which will hopefully be, I don't know, somewhere outside, not inside.